start with a great example of two people who seem to disagree on just about everything, but they come together for a greater cause, greater than themselves. I like to call it the dueling Seans. Sean Penn appeared on both Fox News and MSNBC on Tuesday to advocate support of Ukraine. So last November, we've talked about this. Penn was shooting a documentary about Ukraine and about President Zelensky.
He happened to be there,
yes,
right?
which just because he was so enamored with this guy who was a comedic actor and then played a sort of a everyday guy that sort of fell into the presidency, and now this actor became the and he was sort of caught on to this story early before the rest of us. And of course, that story has sort of pivoted to everything that's going on. He's since been traveling between Ukraine and Poland. He then landed on Sean Hannity's show to talk about it, and both were very honest about their feelings. I pulled 90 seconds from a long clip. It's worth watching.
All right. That was last night as we taped this. Yeah.
I made a phone call to you. I read that you were there, and the story interested me. If you were on this set 99 out of 100 times, we probably would be in full disagreement, right?
No question about that.
All right, so I make the first phone call to you. I don't know if you remember. And I said, I'm interested in the work that you're doing and why you were there even before the war started and this documentary you're doing. Do you remember what you first said to me?
I do.
What'd you say?
I said that I don't trust you.
Is there a reason you didn't trust me?
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons I don't trust you, but my trust or your trust, there's so many people that don't trust their spouse, and yet we've got to get on with life, and we've got a situation. I've never felt this way about where our country is and what I experienced emotionally in Ukraine, where it had not, we all talk about how divisive things are, how divided things are here. But when you step into a country of such incredible unity, you realize what we've all been missing. And I don't think that I've got time to indulge my lack of trust, which it becomes a petty thing as people and babies are being vaporized. And that these people are fighting for the very dreams that are the aspiration of all of us Americans. And we talked about that too.
We did.
We agreed on that. That we've got to take their example of solidarity.
We'll worry about political disagreements. If you ever want to come back another day, you're always invited.
Fair enough.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, I have thoughts. I
Who's
knew about
love
this. They then Mel Gibson. Maybe, but Mark Wahlberg and Mel Gibson were coming on the next day or some other Fox show or something like this. Well, there's a couple of things. Fox gets a bigger audience. So as I've always said, Fauci or Sean Penn, if you'd like to talk to a bigger audience, go on to a Fox show where you are welcome. It's not a two-way street. You don't get to go on Rachel Maddow's show if you disagree with Rachel Maddow or you're on the wrong side of the political spectrum. But the Fox people will normally have you, A, because you're a big name, and B, because, and I'll float you this theory, there's piecemeal, compartmentalize, which you must do as a human being, versus the overall milieu of everyone. So CNN and the left kind of work on this overall milieu. Like, that's a racist guy, or he's a hater, he's a bad, whatever. They don't want, when you're talking about, he doesn't want kids to get fed at school, that's just, they're saying you're a horrible person.
Sure.
Now, Tucker Carlson will piecemeal people and go, I'm against your thoughts on abortion. I'm against your thoughts on the thing, but we agree on the First Amendment and we agree on the Second Amendment, or we agree on X, Y, Z. Sure. And then you can kind of treat it like a Scrabble tiles. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, and you have to do that in life unless you run into your fucking doppelganger and you can both suck each other off in a cemetery in a cop car. You're going to be like, I disagree with this. Well, all right, these are the things we disagree with, but we agree on Ukraine, and you may come on. So if you're going to turn people into bad people versus people you disagree with on certain subjects, then you may not entertain them,
right,
because now you're giving a voice to a bad person. Right. But if you go, let's agree to disagree on the border or taxation or whatever, but we can talk about this subject, or you can be Bill Maher, where you can go on a show and disagree on the stuff you disagree with and then agree on the stuff you agree with. I don't see the sequestered thing. I don't see how it's going to it just can't have legs.
What do you mean the sequester thing?
The part where it's like
You go
put
to your
that camp
corner
over there
Yeah.
and this camp
Well,
over there.
It strategically benefits the Sean Penns of the world to go on the Fox Newses of the world, because how many of those viewers would have checked out your project or dismissed it out of hand because it was Sean Penn?
Well,
You know
yet
what I
you're
mean?
some Hollywood liberal. I'm not interested.
Right. So, and you just have a bigger audience.
Yeah.
So go on to those shows. They're treated with respect and share your opinions on whatever it is.
Well, and I liked that, Sean Penn both Seans seemed to be on brand for their brand of Sean. Like Sean Hannity was kind of, a little slicker and Sean Penn's a little more grizzled, and they
Sean go Sean.
Yeah, and I liked what he said. Yeah, I disagree with you on all kinds of stuff, but it's to think about what's happening in this country. It is a petty thing for me to even bother thinking about right now. And I think that was really sort of the spine of the conversation.
I mean, think about where we're at. We had a worldwide pandemic that devastated the globe. We had the essentially leader of the free world and epidemiology was Dr. Fauci. He went on every place that would have him, every podcast that would have him, to preach about masks or vaccines or whatever the latest data was. He would not go on the network that had the biggest audience.
And obviously, I assume you're saying there were plenty of invitations that were declined.
Oh yeah,
You'd imagine.
they would.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing about Fox. They'll have those people. Tucker Carlson would love to have AOC on his show. AOC does not want to deal with
You should
Tucker
sell tickets to that.
Carlson, and Fauci didn't want to deal with those guys either. So now you're leaving out a large segment of society while simultaneously going on the other networks and complaining about the viewers of the other network with the bigger audience who you're too fucking scared to go on. And you're going to be challenged. That's fine. Bring the data. Fight back and see if we can settle this.
Well, it seems almost, and I might be going out on a limb here, but it seems almost unethical not to go on Fox or, somewhere where you don't think you'll be as welcome, because essentially all you are doing is delivering a public service announcement for a public health crisis. So why
Yes.
are you picking and choosing who gets to hear the message?
Because if you go on CNN, you get Sanjay Gupta and he'll just nod his head. If you go on Fox, there's not going to be a lot of head nodding. And then you're going to have to come up against it. People instinctively just don't want to go to a place where you're going to get some pushback. But from the pushback comes the answers.
Sure.
We can learn a lot more. There was a clip, Chris, can find it. I think it was Adam Schiff. No, Adam Scher. No, Adam. God damn it! What's
Scott?
his name out here? He represents this.
Adam Schiff?
Schiff. Adam
You said
Schiff.
Schiff.
Yeah, Adam Schiff. And I've told.
He just got COVID. Sorry, anyway.
Oh, he did. He was on Bill Maher 2 years ago, maybe a little more. I can't remember. And he was doing the one-on-one. And at some point, Bill just went, I wish you would go on to Tucker Carlson or on to Fox and coach those guys up. I wish they'd let you on there or something. And he went, I've been invited many times. That was his answer. So, okay, go coach them up.
That's not the answer you think it is.
No, and Bill doesn't get it because Bill mixes it up and Bill invites everyone on and he comes on this show and he goes on that show. And he doesn't get it that people don't do that or won't do it. But it'd be a better world. But I do think I was looking, I saw something last night. I think Gutfeld's show was #1 in late night. It was Colbert was #1, and then Gutfeld, and I think Kimmel was a little behind that, and then Fallon, and it would keep going on. At a certain point, man, you want to sell a book or get a message across or whatever, you're going to go where the eyeballs are. And I think the more the Sean Penns kind of drift over there and the Mark Wahlbergs and things like that, it'll kind of
Make it okay.
Won't be a solid.
it'll kind of loosen up. Do we have that dialogue?
Yeah, here we go. This is Adam Schiff and Bill Maher.
Yeah, Bill Maher's going, go on the other thing and coach up. We're just talking to the choir here. Go preach to the other group over there.
Well, it's like that race to dinner woman. That's why we don't even engage with them. Well, then who are you engaging with? The people that already agree with you?
It's not the rebuttal you think it is.
It's bizarre.
I do like Adam Schiff. It's like I've been on Bennett. What
Anyway.
about Sean Hannity? But it's been a while.
Standing invitation.
He's not going.
Well, I don't know if they're doing it again this year. The last time they did it, it's an exciting concept now where I think people would have been so bored by it in the past. That's why people want to go to Politicon that we've had here in LA for the last few years. We want to see people engage in debate with each other that normally have zero interaction.
I agree. But it's going to have to, the people, whether it's Adam Schiff or Fauci, get your shit together and go on one of those shows. The problem is they're missing some facts. It's been replaced with some feelings, but they're missing a few facts, and they don't want to get in front of people that are going to laser focus on that. And that's why they don't show up. Look, it's pure and simple. If Adam Schiff thought he could go on Sean Hannity's show and hand Sean Hannity's ass to him, he'd fucking do it. He'd do it. He's invited on the show. He knows Sean Hannity or whomever knows a few things that he knows as well that he's going to get into that he doesn't want to talk about. And now we have this separate dialogues going on. And I think it'll start with guys like Sean Penn because he's going to go on to Hannity and they're going to talk about stuff that's universally agreed upon. Everyone loves puppies. So we can talk about that. We're not talking about taxation and corporate tax rates or the border. So it'll be safe. But it'll open it up to, it's a sniffing of the hand for the stray dog.
And I'm glad you put it that way because, you know how we've talked a lot on this show throughout the years about people dying is bad. Animals dying. Hold on. It's bad.
Yeah.
Animals dying is a tragedy.
Well, that's when people really snap into action. Like I was talking to Alex Villanueva.
The sheriff?
Alex, yesterday on
Reasonable Doubt.
Fucking Reasonable Doubt. Sorry. Well, I was thinking of fucking Antonio Villaraigosa, and I got all screwed up. But, what really got people going in Venice when he went in there and like cleaned up the boardwalk and everything, what really got people is a dog died in a house fire. And now people are galvanized.
Thank you.
That's how we work as human beings who don't really have problems. Like you can have all the dead people, you have all the junkies flatline on all the sidewalks in the world, but one
crispy dog,
and now we're outraged and we snap into action.
That's exactly right. And so I put it to you, people who haven't been super interested in what's going on in Ukraine. There was so much damage and shelling at the Ukraine zoo. They have to put all the animals to sleep.
Wow.
Yeah. An MP and founder of Eco Park in Kharkiv.
Ted Nugent's hotline rings. Jesus. Fuel up the dually.
Says the large animals will have to be put down. There's just no way of rescuing them.
Camouflage phone.
I know this sounds cruel, but if you had to do this, Gina, you would be emotionally destroyed for the rest of your days on this planet.
Yeah.
Ted Nugent would have a boner.
Why not do it?
Yeah, take the safari trophy hunters.
The dentist.
That's right. Yeah, you're right. Win-win, except for the tiger.
Don Jr., somebody who could stomach it and maybe find some enjoyment, wring some enjoyment out of it.
When you're right, you're right. The large animals.
Oh, you know the guy we need?
Who?
Remember that story a couple years back where they slaughtered a giraffe at a zoo and then fed it to the lions?
Yeah.
Fly that guy in.
They cut some meat.
This is called a Tuesday for him.
That's right. Well, and there's enough for everyone because there's over 6,000 animals there. In a video address, the founder broke the news, and it was just received poorly. The boss said that there was nowhere that could take these creatures and hope to save some with younger big cats, hopefully possible. But they are likely the big ones, the majestic ones that you go to see. They're being put down. There's nowhere to rehome them. There's nowhere nearby to take them. So there's no way out.
Send them to the front.
That's right.
Send them toward the Ruskies.
Strap them.
Again, you really need to get on the phone with this eco park.
I got ideas.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. We've had an almost 24-hour break from Will and Jada. Let's get back into it. Will's facing some further.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Chris has a message from the hoodoo gurus about how they got their name.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, this is hot.
Yeah, so
Hot off the presses.
So I messaged them, and they said they got their name. He says, we liked the almost rhyme of those two words together. Hoodoo is related to voodoo, and they both come from Vodun, a pagan religion from West Africa that the slaves brought with them to the Americas. And guru comes from Indian religion. So we like the sound of the words and the interesting spiritual meanings as well.
Man,
no
and
HR
I was
preference,
riding this Sid and Marty Krofft thing. I feel like my whole world's a lie.
Wow,
I don't know
this
what
has
to
to be
believe
devastating.
anymore. It's cognitive dissonance. I talked myself into this in 1989, and I never let it go.
It's like Galileo convincing you the sun revolves around the earth.
Yeah, I don't think he knew that.
Pretty sure that's what
Crestfallen.
happened. Pretty sure that's what happened.
Yeah.
Look it up.
Well, let's talk about Will. You know, they're putting all his projects on hold, and now there's rumors that he's going to some rehab for, working on his childhood trauma, whatever. And there's more. The man who had the affair with his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, is speaking out in a new song.
Oh,
and rumored,
no.
rumored tell-all book. Now, the song is cryptic. The tell-all will not be. So Jada,
I fucked Jada.
famously, it's not as straightforward as the Kanye Skeet Davidson thing. Famously referred to the years-long affair with R&B singer August Alsina, who was 29, as an entanglement. Remember, she said that on that.
Whitey,
Red
we
Table
just
Talk.
worry about books.
Yeah,
You're in the black community. There's going to be a song
that's
and
right.
a book.
That's right.
Jesus Christ.
No one picked up the torch for Alanis Morissette.
Yeah.
That's right. Here's the lyric. Again, vague, but this is what we're supposed to believe.
Cause goddamn it, that's right, I shake the world. I heard it's some shit that's gonna go down when you got $1 billion on the elevator. Well, of course some shit was gonna go down when you tangled up with the world's favorite.
So that's the big line.
Was I boofed Baldy?
Yeah, can you translate?
Yeah. Well, of course, some shit is bound to go down when you tangled up with the world's favorite. And then another thing about having $1 billion on your elevator. But it's also reported that, and by the way, he was 23 when he met Jada because he was friends with her son, that he's going to write a tell-all book that will go into major detail about their sex life. Several publishers bidding for the book, and August is lining up the best deal. Last year, Will confirmed that he and Jada had an open relationship because Jada never believed in a conventional marriage. So I guess it's open when one person says, I'm going to be open.
Yeah.
And Chris may still be staying silent, Chris Rock, but his brother isn't. Do you know he has like a lot of brothers?
Yes.
Like a dozen brothers.
Really?
Yes.
So Tony Rock, his brother, has a lot to say. This is a clip of him.
Before the book comes out, shouldn't Will just get divorced? I feel like let's do a little preemptive
Yeah.
strike.
Oh, I see.
You
Get
know what
ahead
I
of
mean?
this. Yeah.
But he's a fan, of her. They're traumatically bonded, it seems like.
I guess. I just feel like that book's going to drop.
Oh, it's gonna be humiliating.
He's going to be like cyberly cuckolded,
Cuckolded, yeah.
and nobody, I don't know.
Yeah, I think
Maybe
you're right.
I'm old fashioned that way, but.
Well, Tony Rock wants to stick up for his brother, and the clip was long, so I just pulled a little part. Here's a clip of him at a festival in Raleigh where he vents about what happened. He started the thing by basically screaming at the audience, saying, like, if you have a problem with this, like, sit the fuck down. No, this isn't the Oscars. Like, I'm going to let my fist do the talking.
How,
and they went into that.
Is there a thing that you guys notice where people graft themselves into a situation like Will Smith come at me that way? You're going
Yeah.
to find out like you're not going to be on the Oscar stage at any. You're never going to be invited to the Oscars.
The aforementioned Mark Wahlberg. Dude, if I was on that plane, great, terrific.
Right.
I am so glad you brought up Mark Wahlberg.
Oh.
This
I
also
feel like I did.
dovetails nicely. He's getting out of Beverly Hills. Not sure where he's going, but his massive estate just hit the market, and holy Christ, it's huge. And boy,
I hear there's a kettlebell in there.
he's going to turn a huge profit from when we're looking at a picture. I mean, I don't even. This is like Wayne Manor,
It's
like
a manor.
with
It's a stately manor.
with a 6 lots, and one of them has a tennis court and a
If you show that
house.
to me, that's a hotel. That's a resort.
Absolutely. So overall, it's 30,500 square feet of living space.
Holy.
Covered in European limestone. He bought it in 2009 for $8.25 million.
Goodbye.
And he
bargain.
is selling it for,
49.
Brian,
51.
$87,500.
Oh my God.
I mean, this is a state-of-the-art hotel. We're looking at pictures. It's got a full-blown library, study room, waterfall pool, grotto, tennis court, basketball court, private spa, 5,000 bottle wine cellar. Maybe those come with, I don't know. A fully equipped gym, a movie screening room, separate quarters for any hired help, media entry space, we're looking at this golf course.
Where is this? It's
Beverly Hills.
Oh, shit.
I can guarantee you if I lived at that house, I would spend almost all my time in one room and mostly in a bathrobe.
Just cuz?
That's just cuz.
Yeah, I'd probably be in the bedroom.
I wouldn't be out hitting tennis balls from a ball launcher.
I'd be thinking about it.
I'd be thinking about it, but I would probably be watching TV in the smallest room in the castle.
Yeah.
Probably be in sweatpants and a bathrobe and be wearing slippers, but not the slippers I like. There's another set
of the house
that I've liked better, but somehow they're not here.
They're 20,000 feet away.
Yes.
But how would you feel about full 24-hour live-in help? Because that makes me very uncomfortable. Like if I'm trying to relax.
You never see them.
Yeah, but I've been to very, very famous people's houses, as I'm sure we all have, and they have like a full kitchen staff, and you're not allowed to like get anything yourself, and it's not comfortable.
We had like the night nurse and the nanny and stuff like that. I never liked going into the kitchen. For some reason, they live in the kitchen, and you go into the kitchen, and the kitchen, to me, it's like back in the days when they had those peep shows and the little video booths or something, you're going, that's your place.
Yeah.
You want some Guatemalan chick standing in your
buddy, that's the last thing you
booth.
want.
That's the last thing you want. There's this weird sense of like, I'd like to come in here.
Intimate.
I don't want to be judged on what I'm taking out.
Marshmallow, fluff, and bacon.
Of the refrigerator.
I can finally be me.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
You're here. Now I'm
alive.
entering my own kitchen, but I feel like I'm on the clock in my own kitchen. And let me just say this, because I have scared the shit out of Olga 128 times. Almost every time I walk in the kitchen, she turns around, hi! Now, here's the thing. Olga complains I'm a very soft walker, but I'm a very quiet walker. I wonder, even though there's a weight difference, I think men are quieter walkers than women. Every woman I've been around is like clunk,
Clumping.
they're clumpers. And I'm not talking about wearing the heels
right.
or the corkies. You can hear my daughter. I can hear my daughter coming down the hall, and I know who it is versus my son. She's a loud walker. I'm a very soft walker. And then when I walk in the kitchen, Olga goes, hi! And then she admonishes me. Hey, listen. You may be startled all you want, but check that shit at the door. When you go into someone else's house and they live in that house and they're at that house, you're not allowed to be startled when the person who owns the kitchen walks into the kitchen at 7:30.
You're standing inside of context.
If you're
surrounded by
in your
context.
apartment and somebody comes up behind you, by all means. Not in my house. Then it scares me. Hi! And I'm always like, huh? And then I get a little lecture. You're such a quiet walker. It's like saying your hands are so clean.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, well, okay, I'll take it. I'm graceful. Fine.
We need to put a bell on your neck.
Then as I start feeling self-conscious, and so I'll clear my throat as I'm turning the corner or something like that, because I sneak up on her because I'm quiet and she's always doing something, and then she freaks out.
That's really funny because we, as you know, our house isn't quite as big as yours. Certainly not quite as big as Mark Wahlberg's. Confined space, but my husband and my stepson and I do we spend a lot of our time jumping out of corners and scaring each other, and nobody likes it. The person who's getting scared is pissed, but we can't stop doing it. So maybe, Olga just needs to look alive like the rest of us have to at my house.
Well, expect folks who live in the house to enter the kitchen on occasion.
Okay.
That's
fair.
During business hours. All right, let's bring it home.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news. People dying is bad.
That was the news with Gina Grad.
Hi! And by the way, just because you're scared doesn't mean there's something that I did that was wrong. That just could be a bad wiring situation. And Olga listens to this podcast.
Yeah.
And she's listening to me now. And she'll be in the kitchen.
She'll check your tone.
I'm talking to Olga. You don't and by the way, don't settle my hash either. Or actually settle
some hash.
some real hash. Hi! I am graceful as a swan. I walk around my own home in my own socks, and I don't have to send off a air horn before I turn the corner and head down the hall to alert you in your very delicate wiring.
You know,
Hi! Yeah.
you're full of a lot of bravado here where it's safe.
I know.
But I can't wait to see what happens when you get home.
Or how about you just silently be startled? Hi!
I don't think you get a choice of how you're startled.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
Okay.
All right, let me tell you about LifeLock. Tax season is always crazy, but you'll feel a little less stressed and this year if you protect yourself. Now, you got to watch out for the scams. IRS, they don't... those scammers will call and they'll pretend to be the IRS, and they want your personal information, your bank accounts. They want you to wire them money. Don't fall for that scam. It's important to understand how cybercrime and identity theft are affecting our lives. Every day, we put our info at risk on the internet in an instant. Cyber criminals could harm your finances and your credit. Good thing there's LifeLock. LifeLock helps detect a wide range of identity threats like your social security number for sale on the dark web. You'll have access to a dedicated restoration specialist if you become a victim. Right, Dawson?
No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but you can keep what's yours with LifeLock by Norton. Join now and save up to 25% off your first year with promo code ADAM. Call 1-800-LIFELOCK or head to lifelock.com. Use promo code ADAM for 25% off.
Well, Kyle Dunnigan's coming in here for a little new Matt.
Oh!
Last day. Yes.
Thank God.
Andrew Huberman.
I am so excited about him.
Neuroscientist. I know. Everyone's a buzz.
He's fabulous.
Going to come in as well. You can go to AdamCarolla.com for all live shows. Indianapolis, Huntington Beach, Denver, Springfield, Missouri, all coming up. Alicia Cuthbert's her movie is called The Cellar. It's available in theaters and streaming on Shudder April 15th. And until next time, Sam Kroll for Alicia Cuthbert and Gina Grad and Ball Bryan. Say it. Mahalo. It's kind of
Give
like
people ideas. Like, oh, look at that guy.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
just take it off their porch.
yeah, it's like watching animals fuck and they just don't care.
Go on.
Well, you can get your fucking camera out and film it all you want.
I was gonna finish.
They're balls deep in a
Another penguin.
Another penguin.
I
Is
don't
it a
know.
penguin? I've never.
I don't know.
I don't know how penguins fuck.
I don't know.